this working? Let me see. Why is this other stuff not working? Okay. Gonna be a couple minutes, or not a couple minutes. I start earlier, so I can figure out any problems that is happening right now. Okay. I start earlier, so that looks good on that side. Sub to 1. See, new subscriber. Appreciate that. We're gonna start soon. I appreciate you coming to the channel. Sup, Corey? Thanks for joining. Okay, so hopefully everything works good. If anything, audio or anything doesn't work good, you let me know. I started a little bit earlier just in case. Well, awesome. Welcome back, the one. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that joins and the people that, if you're watching this after the live stream, I appreciate you too. Couple things. On Monday, we're gonna have a couple people joining the. Let me put this mute. I'll mute before it starts screaming at me. So we're gonna have a live mock draft, not with Nubo, not with any other Baltimore Ravens fan. It's gonna be with a couple of podcasters from other places in the U.S. So should be fun. It's, you can see another perspective from other people. So that's always gonna be good. Also from another here, I wanted to show you something to you guys. This is the new on the merch, the new logo, SCG. Hopefully you can see the 3 letters there. If you like to support the channel, go to Teespringer. You can find it here. You can find the mug. It has both sided sweatshirts, anything you want. Appreciate that. Like I said, I don't make any money from YouTube, so this is a good way to help me out. Not that I'm saying that you have to, but this also from what you guys buy from the store, I use it for the giveaways. And so far, last week or the week before, we did give up, and the winner was Let's Get It. He won the Ravens cap, the one that the players are gonna wear when their name gets called. That's the cap. The Let's Get It. I done a couple of things more. Once we get to 1,000, I said we're gonna do. Once we get at 1,000, and I get monetized. So when YouTube says you can make money, I'm gonna take all that money. It's just not much at the beginning, but I'm gonna use it for a jersey giveaway. Anyway, so let's get started. We're gonna start talking about the schedule, and then we'll move on to talk about any questions you guys have for the draft. This past week, we got into a heated discussion, me and Chips. Got to a back and forth. If you haven't seen it, go to Joe Newell's channel, our weekly podcast. We were debating receivers, and me and him got to a heated discussion. So let's talk about the schedule. So my first thought about the schedule was I liked it. We're gonna be home and away. It's not bad. You're never gonna be out of the flock too long, and you can't be in the flock for too long either. So 1 home, 1 away. Bye week, I think, is pretty good. Week 8, pretty down in the middle. So let's talk about each game. And this is a way too early prediction, right? Corey, I wish we had a prime time against Pittsburgh too, but you know what? That you never know. That week 17 might go prime time, and week 5 is not, but week 17 definitely might go prime time. So week 1, Dolphins. The Dolphins, this is not normal, guys, but the Dolphins is a team that, in my opinion, is actively tanking. Actively tanking, which is horrible. Whoa, that's not it. What happened here? That's not it. There we go. Actively tanking. So that should be a W. That should be a W. Should be an easy win. It should be like Buffalo. Well, there's no easy win in the NFL, but it should be like Buffalo. Then we go and play Arizona at home. I'm gonna be in that game, so I'll let you guys know where I'm gonna be at, so we can see if anybody wants to join. Usually, I'm gonna talk to Fred from Berlin BS, and hopefully we can meet and get together. So, Arizona, do we expect anything? Do we expect to lose that game at all? To be honest, no, right? I mean, if they have Kyle Murray, we're gonna be seeing Kyle Murray. If they still have Rosen, well, we're gonna see Rosen. Either way, they have a lot of holes, but we get Terrell Suggs coming to M&T Bank. So it's gonna be weird seeing 55 in red, seeing 55 in another team. I'm not looking forward to that part, but it should be a W. I don't see us losing at all that game. So we should start the season 2-0 in these first two games, regardless what happens, to be honest. And then week 3, the Chiefs, the game that got away. You imagine if we win that game last year, we are 11-5. We're probably looking into a 3rd seed instead of a 4th seed. Anyway, the Chiefs, that's going to be a tough game. It's an Arrowhead. Now, we show we can win. What's up, Raven? Thanks for joining the live. So, we show we can win in Arrowhead, or at least we show we can be competitive. The Chiefs got weaker on the defensive side. We did as well, but I think they did get weaker than us. Their pass rushing right now is questionable at best. Secondary, they have questions. I think this is a game that we could potentially win. I will put it right now as an L, but it's a game that is not. It's not a game that is a L for sure. Like the first two, like I said, it should be a W. I don't see anything changing that. But week 4 against the or week 3 against the Arrowhead or in Arrowhead, I'll put an L, but it's not a definite L. Then we get the Brownies. Everything is good in Raven. Well, this live was supposed to be with the new computer that I was building, but the CPU wasn't working, so it's with my normal setup. Hopefully, by next week when we do live reaction through the mock, or not the mock, through the real draft, the computer will be done. Anyway, so we have the Brownies, and this is the hype team. This is the team that everybody's talking about. This is the team that, oh my God, I think it has the 3rd best odds to win in the Super Bowl. I don't care what the odds said. You need to show that they can win. They need to show, and it's in Baltimore too, right? So they need to show that they can win. They need to show that they're for real. Freddie Kitchen needs to show that he can coach more than offense a whole team. That team has holes. Our secondary matches well with their wide receiving core. They still don't have Kareem Hunt, and that's the guy that scares me the most from this team. I remember last year saying with the Chiefs, once Kareem Hunt wasn't there, I felt like we had a chance, right? And we did have a chance that game, but obviously we didn't win. But Kareem Hunt not being there, I will give this to Baltimore. Even with Kareem Hunt, I think it should be a good game, a tough game. Being at home, I give it to Baltimore. Then we play against the Squealers. Week 5, this is a game that obviously is in the catch-up place. And in the catch-up place, they play tough, but we'll see how the Steelers react. Right, the Killer Bees are not there anymore. This team has a lot of holes, a lot of questions. They're They're not good against the run, which is what the Ravens will do best. Without AB, we don't have a receiver that we necessarily need to bracket, so Errol Thomas can run free. And, I'm expecting a lot of picks in that game from our secondary. So this is a game that I can see us winning for sure. Week 5, I will give us a W right now. So right now I have us 4-1. Then we have the Bungles. The Bungles are another team that is, I don't think they're actively tanking, but this is a hard game. It's at home. I'm going to give it a W. That team is not good. They have a lot of holes. They're probably the worst team in the division, but I think we should get a W in that one. Then we go to Seattle, and that is on the 12-man territory. That's going to be a tough game. Seattle, although we all have holes. Every team has holes. So we will see what Seattle does. Wilson just got paid. They don't have the best receiving core, but they do have a decent running game. Defensively, we match well. I think our team is better than Seattle, but I'm going to give it a loss because it's on a road. Then we go on the bye week, and we are going to the bye week looking pretty, right? 5-2. Let me put this here. Okay, so we're looking pretty to the bye. Sup, Air Bear? Thanks for joining the stream. So we're looking pretty going to the bye, 5-2. Getting healthy. A reason why I like the Ravens and that Sunday night. Coming off a bye at home against the Patriots. Yes, the Patriots are a tough team. No Gronk. So really, they don't have any matchup problems for the Ravens. So I think we're winning this game against the Patriots. That's 6-2. Then the Bengals again, even though it's away, I think we should win 7-2. Houston is a team that has so many holes. I think they got lucky last year in a lot of the games. They were the team that won by less than 3 points. They had the most win by less than 3 points. So I think when you have that many games with that, there's a luck factor. So anyway, I think so at this point, what was it? 5, 6, 7-2. Houston, we should win against Houston. That's 8-2. Now we go see Eric Weddle week 12, Monday nighter. This is when I think there's the next loss. Cross country, even though it's a Monday night, I mean, you're due a loss at that point. So that's your third loss. Week 12, I think it's a loss. San Francisco, I think we are better than San Francisco. Juszczyk should be coming back home. We haven't seen him in a while. I think that's a W. The Bills, it's going to be cold that game. It's going to be cold. So as long as our boys react to the cold, the running game is suited for the cold game. I think that is a W. Now, Thursday night. And we only have three losses. Which, it's going to be more than 3. But Thursday night against the Jets. The reason I like the Ravens in this one is Thursday night tends to favor the home team. This is a welcome game for CJ Mosley. And by the way, in Buffalo, we're going to go see Smokey Brown. So I think we win this game. Then we go to the Browns, and I'm going to put an L on the road. So we're going to split against the Browns. We're going to have an L. So we have 4 losses with that. And the Squealers at home, I think that's a W. So that's 12-4. That's what I have. I can see 11-5, split it with the Steelers, right? I can see, I have a loss with in Seattle. But I can see us, let's say we lose to the Patriots, 10-6. I think the schedule looks good for us. Looks really good. Like I said, 11-5, and that's splitting with the Browns. That's splitting with the Steelers. Losing to the Rams. Losing to the Chiefs. And losing to the Seahawks. The rest of the games, I think they're all winnable. Now, this is on paper. You need to play to win the game. So, let me do this here. Boom. Okay, I'm back here. Okay, so now remember Monday next live stream we're gonna be talking with other podcasters not from the Baltimore area. We're gonna do a live mock draft. You would, yeah, you know what? Again, week 16 is a game that you might get a prime time with the Brownies. So, Marcus, what up, man? So Monday we're gonna have the live stream with other YouTuber, they're podcasters. I think might be 3 or 4. Still waiting for some confirmation. So that gives you the perspective of not all Ravens pick, right? Because right now, a mock drafts that I've been doing live is either me and Nubo. The other day we brought Chips. You all know if you've watched that how heated that got. That's Monday. Thursday we're gonna be live during the draft, reaction to every pick, and Friday I'm gonna be in this channel, reaction to every pick. Okay, with that, I wanna say something because when we got heated, me and Chips was when we were talking about who should be the first pick, and I don't know what you guys think. I don't know if you think it should be a receiver. I don't know if you guys think it should be a edge rusher, inside linebacker, or a inside O lineman. Regardless, Chip came out and said that best or biggest need is edge rusher. And I heard this is not the first time. I mean, this is not a knock on Chip. This is literally not the first time I heard this argument. And the receiver's not even it's not a bigger need because we have Willie Snead and we have, what is the other guy's name? Chris Moore. And I was floored. I was like, yo, really? Chris Moore? Chris Moore's been here for 3 years. He hasn't done much. He is a third receiver at best. Currently, he's not even a 3. On a good day, he is. Willie Snead is a receiver number 2 on a good day. On a normal day, he's a receiver number 3. So in theory, everything being equal, and I love Willie Snead, by the way. Everything being equal, you have a receiver number 3 and a bunch of 4s. That is your receiving core. If you go to the pass rushing, you have a pass rusher number 1 on Judon, and then you have 2 number 3s. And on the lineman, on the offensive lineman, your left guard is pretty bad. But I figured that in the 3rd round, you can probably find a guy that plugged that hole. And your center is, and I'm not a fan of Skura, but your center is average at best. But that's fine. We were 10 to 12 in the O-line last year with the current O-line. So, 1 year more gelling together, usually that's good for the O-line. So saying to me the receiver is not the biggest need is insane. I don't understand that. Now, if the argument is, wait, we just don't force the receiving pick, I agree with that argument. It's what I told everybody that has brought this to me. I say, well, the problem that I have with the Ravens having this wide receiving core is you're almost forced to take a receiver, right? But forcing your pick, you cannot force that pick at 22. You can't. Let's say N'Keal Harry's gone. Let's say A.J. Brown's gone. DK Metcalf, Hollywood Brown, and let's say they would have drafted Hakeem Butler. All of them are out. Are you gonna reach for Parrot Campbell? Are you? That's exactly how you finish with Perriman. You cannot reach. You stay put. If a lot of receivers went early, that means a really good player fell to you. And if you're gonna draft at 22, that means probably Cody Ford's there. That means McCoy, Bradbury are there. Maybe Farrell's there. Maybe Brian Burns is there. So, are those the biggest need? No. Biggest need is wide receiver, and the second is not even close. But that doesn't mean you overdraft. That doesn't mean you reach. When you reach, that's when you fell out into the trap. So let me go get some questions as I keep going. I think, this is for Marcus, I think we may be able to get more value with a pass rusher at 22 than a wide receiver. Not a problem, Marcus. Like I said, if a 22 gets there and you're not gonna trade back, you go pick your BPA. BPA is pass rusher, you pick a pass rusher. BPA is inside alignment, you pick an inside alignment. If Bush slipped to 22, you go pick up Bush. Whoever your BPA is, you will pick that guy if you stay at 22. You don't force the pick. Now, your biggest need is receiver. This is the worst receiving core in the whole league, but you don't force the pick. Air Bear, I don't know, something was missing. I don't know. So Corey says, I agree with Marcus. What are your thoughts of Jalen Ferguson? I like Ferguson. I think Ferguson is a late second, early third. I don't want him in the first round. I think he has some deficiencies. But if you trade back and you gather picks and that's a guy you covet, you go get. You go get for sure. So Rijodo, thanks for joining the live stream, man. No receiver is worth the 22. I disagree with that. But I think there's enough depth that at 22 you don't have to make the pick there. Especially in my opinion, there's gonna be a lot of receivers left. Maybe DK and Hollywood won't be there, but the rest of the receivers will be there, so you can trade back and still find your receiver. If it is AJ Brown, N'Keal Harry, whoever, you can still trade back and get your guy. So Airbear says all wide receivers are going early. We need pass rusher alignment. If all wide receivers are going early, that means a good pass rusher and a good interior lineman fell. That's fine. I'm good with that. Now, the reason why I don't think that's going to happen is because usually people love speed, and none of these receivers, other than DK, runs extremely fast. Hollywood plays fast, so that's why I'm saying they are the top two to go. Marcus says Ferguson will be a solid pick if left okay the board. Honestly, that's all about ability. I can see 4 or 5 teams who may nab him. Okay, so I got lost in the middle there, Marcus, but I like Ferguson. Ferguson will be a good pick in the 2nd to 3rd round. I think he's super solid. He's not a first rounder. Now, if Brian Burns is there at 22, dude, I love Brian Burns at 22. If Farrell is there at 22, I love Farrell. Now, I think Farrell's not an outside linebacker. I think he's more of a 3-4 DN. And I would love for us to snatch Zach Allen in the 3rd round from Boston College at a 3-4. That would be absolutely amazing. What up, Coach? Thanks for joining the live stream. If you haven't seen Coach's Sip to Tally films, go check it out. He does a great job breaking out film. Thanks for joining, Coach. Marcus says absolutely. I think a dream scenario is to trade back up into the 1st round after acquiring a 2nd round to get the best wide receiver in the bottom of the round. Hopefully, N'Keal Harry. You know how much I love N'Keal Harry. So, look, in my scenario, my latest mock, and I have been trying to put a new mock, guys, it takes me 3 to 5 hours to do a 3-round mock draft with trades, because I had to do all the math for all the trades, because I try to be as honest as possible. So I'll try to put a 6-0 if I can by Wednesday. But that being said, if by my latest one we trade back twice and we end up with 4 3rd-round picks and 3 4th-rounders, in my mock draft we lost N'Keal. There was take your pick. AJ Brown would have been my pick. That's not the pick I had, but then I picked the brother, Riley Ridley. So there's so much depth on receiver that you can go to early 2nd and still get a good one, and then on the 3rd you should be able to trade up a little bit and get a good one. Now I heard this scenario, which I didn't even consider, trading back with the Patriots, taking the 32nd pick, and then take your last pick on the 3rd round and flip it for one of their 2nd round picks. That will work. That would be really, really good. And then at 32nd, if somebody wants that pick, you trade back a little bit, gather a couple, a fourth or a third, and then you can get that second with the other second. Now we're in the territory, maybe in Keel, maybe A.J. Brown, and with that other second, you may be looking into Deebo Samuel. If the Butler train is still there, maybe Butler. If let me see who else. Harmon. Then maybe you can also have Harmon. Right now you have 2 top receivers and you still have your third. Plus, more than that, you go ahead and draft whoever the receiver again. A.J. Brown and Keel. Doesn't matter. Whoever you like. And then Ferguson might be there for the late second. Polite, a guy that I like a lot in that second spot. I got one of those 2 guys, that would be freaking awesome, right? And you still have your third. So for that inside O lineman, and you have an early fourth that you can trade up. That'll be spectacular, guys. Okay, so Rijoto says, honestly, I wouldn't reach for Polite at 22. Then you will reach for Polite. Yeah, no. I would disagree with that, Rijoto. I understand. You don't like the receiving core, but Polite has his issues too. I like Polite, but he's not a first rounder. Corey says Polite's not what I just said. Sip to Tally is on the Hakeem Butler train. Again, in a scenario and I might push for that scenario, and the scenario that I was talking about, you get the Patriots 32nd pick, and you get another second, and you give one of your thirds. I think that will be spectacular, guys. Marcus says, I do not think A.J. Brown makes it out of the top 15. A.J. Brown is all over the place. I think A.J. Brown's the best receiver. A.J. Brown does a lot of good things, but everybody gets in love with the potential. What is that ceiling? And I think A.J. Brown, although his floor is super high, his ceiling, he's very close to reaching that ceiling, which is not a bad thing. I keep saying A.J. Brown walks to any most NFL locker rooms, and he's probably a wide receiver 2 already. At worst, a wide receiver 3. Obviously, with the Ravens, he's a wide receiver 1. So, even though talent-wise, I think he's a top 15, think where he's gonna go late first, early second. DK will go in a top 15. I have him going to the Packers, I think it was. So, and I can see a trade scenario like, let's say the Cardinals, they draft Murray with the first, and then on 17, the Giants say, hey, I'll take Rosen, let's flip our pick, meaning I'll send you 17, and you send me that first pick in the second round, the 33rd. At that point, the Cardinals, I can see picking Hollywood Brown with the 17th pick, or Cody Ford. They might just go Oklahoma crazy. And then, trying to pair Murray and A.J. Brown. Not A.J. Brown, sorry. Hollywood Brown. So that will have 2 receivers going early. So, Or says, wouldn't bet that DK gets drafted after AJ. I think AJ is currently better than DK. My biggest problem with DK has the potential in the world. His injury history, and that's not something that he can work on, right? So he has a problem with not running crisp routes. He cannot shift, he cannot sink his hips and cut, but he can work on that, right? If he's a workaholic, if he's a workhorse, look, Lamar has been working all summer. If DK does the same thing, I'm sure he can get better. The problem is when you go and say, wait, you have to overpass injuries, right? That's not something he can control. If he's healthy, he has the highest potential. And he, like I said, the thing with having them with the Packers, they have way better receiving core than us. But look, he can stretch the field. He's a big guy. Aaron Rodgers can just toss it up and he can make the play if he's healthy. So I have Craven Son Raven. What's up, man? Thanks for joining the live draft. And sorry that Chips was giving you crap, man. I saw it wasn't in my channel. Um, it was a fun podcast, but I think there were some lines crossed. But if you're with Chips, that will happen. But anyway, thanks for joining the live. So, other things that I want to talk about the draft. I think in the first round there's gonna be a lot of O linemen going, so that's gonna help us in the meaning that I don't think we're gonna draft an O lineman in the first round. I know that's something that a lot of people want, but I think Jonah Williams is gonna go early in the first. I think Taylor's gonna go in the first. Diller's gonna go in the first. Cody Ford is gonna go in the first. Bradbury's gonna go in the first. I wouldn't be surprised if Lindstrom goes in the fourth, and if McCoy goes in the first. That's seven. 7 linemen, O linemen, going in the first round. So if you think about 7 O linemen going in the first round, if 3 quarterbacks go in the first round, that's 10. Talk about White, Quentin Williams, Bosa, Josh Allen. That's 14 picks, right? Now you're getting to your territory, and you still haven't talked about Rashawn Gary, Ed Oliver, Brian Burns, Monte Sweat, Font, Hawkinson. You are going to get a premier player at 22. But not only that, if you trade back, you're still going to get a premier player. You still are. This draft class is pretty loaded. Where's this draft class a little weak? In corner. What do the Ravens have a lot? Corners. Quarterback, this class is suspect. Running back, this class is suspect, although you can get good value in the middle, like 4th or 5th round. I think the Ravens should not draft a running back before the 5th. O-lineman, there's depth. Interior O-line, there's a couple good players to get in that 3rd to 4th round. Excuse me. Tight end is kind of thin. Right receiver is very solid. A lot of depth. Talk about in the 2nd round, you're gonna see guys like Deebo Samuels, Harmon, not Hollywood either. Hakeem Butler. Let me see. I think Perez Campbell's gonna be a 4th round, and then you have McLaurin in the 3rd. Andy Isabella from the 3rd round. Boykins is probably a 3rd round, and people that I'm missing that I can't remember. Anyway, it's very deep in the receiving side, and that's it for the offensive side. Like I said, corners is kind of weak. Safeties, there's 2 or 3, and then it's not very deep. What else? Middle linebacker, there's a couple. There's the 2 ones on the top that I think are fantastic. Then the middle linebacker from Alabama, I think, is super solid. He's a thumper, and with our 2 current linebacker, that's what we need, a thumper. And then we have, obviously, the D linemen are extremely good in this draft. So the positioning of needs, there's a lot of depth, which is really good for this team. Guys that I would love to have in the middle, rounds are guys like Zach Allen. Both guards from Oklahoma are really good. Bryce Love, if you want to talk about a running back, and then McLaurin, a guy that I really like in the 3rd round. Andy Isabella, a guy that I love, super duper playmaker, little guy but super playmaker. Who else? Did I say? I think I said Zach Allen already. Oh, Arcega Whiteside, a guy that I even mentioned earlier, but Arcega Whiteside, a super solid receiver in that middle rounds. And people that I'm not remembering right now, but there's a lot of good talent to be taken. So let me see. Marcus says, all that work on things he hasn't developed will more than likely lead to future injuries. I think front office will see that for Deacon. I mean, yeah. Again, Marcus, I think everybody falls in love with speed and height. You can't teach speed. You can't teach height. Talk about how the kid from Baltimore that went to the St. Louis Rams. What is this kid's name? no, Austin. Yeah, people love his speed. He got overdrafted. The damn, Josh. No, it's not Josh. Ross that went to the Bengals got overdrafted. Why? Because of speed. Everybody falls in love with speed every year, every single year. Whoever runs the fastest is gonna get overdrafted. But Perriman ran a 4.23 in his pro day. Ravens were looking. They're like, oh my god, we need to get this guy with speed. And look, nah, he's gonna get overdrafted, bro. He is. So Craven says, I think Boykins will be a great fit, best blocking receiver in this draft. He's up there, and he's a good catcher. I think he's gonna be a third rounder. That's a solid guy. That's a guy that if you bring him, it's a solid pick. Sleeping on my boy Stanley Morgan. I like him too. Again, as I'm going with players, I'm forgetting. When you see my 3-round mock draft, you will see roughly where I have all these guys. Yeah, so Coach, I'm not disagreeing. Speed changes the game. And I agree with you. That's why they do it. Because there's two things you cannot teach. DK could potentially learn routes, right? Even if somebody has dropping problems. Everybody thinks they can fix that. But you can't teach that speed and you can teach that height. And DK has both. So our team will be like, well, he can't run the routes. I can teach that. But that dude is so fast. What corner can fight with him on a one-on-one with that speed and that physique? So that's why I think he's gonna get overdrafted. Not overdrafted. I think he's good. My biggest problem with DK again is his injury history. It's not his play. It's his injury history. So I agree with you, Coach. No doubt. But my point is, whoever. That's why people are talking Perel Campbell in the first round because he was insane in that 40. People were like, oh my God, this guy is fast. We need to draft him. You stay away for overdrafting guys. So Marcus says Miles Boykin is a good choice as a mid-round. I agree. Marcus, that's what I was saying. In a third round, look at this. If you get my boy Nkeel and then you get Boykins as to come to camp, you're like, I'm solid. They're still rookies, let's be honest. But now you have more depth. You have more depth with good depth. It's not only crappy depth, it's good depth, right? So that's what I'm talking about. You bring solid guys. This is the year that the receiving core is very deep. Last year wasn't. Last year we had DJ Moore, which was the guy that I wanted. And then we passed on Calvin Ridley, which I thought we were going to get as soon as Moore got drafted before us, right? And then you have the guy that went to Arizona that I wasn't the biggest fan, but he was a deep threat. He was fast. After that, it was nothing. It was literally nothing. So Corey, I agree with you. Calvin will get overdrafted. Not Calvin. Man, Hollywood will get overdrafted. I saw Craven on top, and sorry, he will be overdrafted. The thing with Hollywood, I've been saying this with Coach. Coach knows when we talk about the offensive roster months ago. This was like 2 weeks after the end of the season. We talk about prospects. We talk about Hollywood Brown, and I told him way back when, Hollywood Brown reminds me of Deshaun Jackson, and I think he will be Deshaun Jackson. A guy like Deshaun Jackson, you know what he needs? An accurate quarterback. Love me some Lamar Jackson, but he's not accurate right now. He will not be utilized in the best form. He is on the lighter side. He scares me. That's the reality. Is he scares me. He scares me because that lighter frame in this division could be problematic. Now, he is a big play guy. He definitely is a big play guy. And I'm not saying he's going to be bad. Look, Deshaun Jackson, how long has he been in the league? For a while. But, he always tried when he had the accurate quarterback. Again, before I keep reading the comments, Thursday in Joe Nubo's channel, come and join us. We're going to be live, all the picks, just talking about. I'm gonna try to predict the pick before it comes, and then on Friday I'll be here for both second and third round picks. So it's gonna be a long stream. Join me. We can chat. We can talk about prospects. For the prospects, there's always gonna be prospects that I'm not completely familiar, but we'll find out about them. Come join me. I'm gonna be streaming in the computer. I don't use what is it, the Reddit subreddit for streaming. I use PSVU. I cut my cable years ago, but I still use a reliable source. I pay for the service. It's fantastic. I suggest you do the same. You don't need cable. This is a non-commercial pay. You don't need cable. You can just watch TV online, and it works on your TV. All my TVs, I stream 3 TVs at the same time, and it's fantastic. Okay, and if you have any questions, you can always hit me up. I can give you my honest. Nobody pays for my review, so I can give you my honest opinion. Okay, let me see here. Craven says, draft a receiver in every round, can miss on each guy, right? Well, yes. You would think. So Marcus says, I definitely see your angle, Sonny. I just wouldn't take DK over AJ to me. AJ Brown is the most complete receiver. So, Marcus, I don't want the Ravens to take DK. Not for us. Because I don't want a receiver that can be injured. And he has the potential of being injured, and I don't want that. I don't want to have a Hurst. We were lucky that Hurst got in. Not that he got injured, but that injury happened in a position that we had depth, right? We have Max Williams. We have Andrews that was balling. And then we have Boyle. We don't have that. We currently don't have that for the receiving side. So I want a guy that is dependable. I agree with you. I love AJ Brown. My top 2 receivers are Enkeel and AJ. The reason I have Enkeel, he has a higher ceiling. He can adjust better to the ball, as we don't have the most accurate quarterback. In my opinion, and I did my mock 1-0, which I don't even remember what it was. I have us taking Enkeel Harry, and my comparison to him was Anquan Bolden for Flacco. And he, remember, said Anquan Bolden when he was in Arizona, he was a guy, was never the fastest guy, but once he catch the ball, that yardage was there. Enkeel has the vision to produce those yak yardage. But if you go with AJ, I'll be fine with that. Love AJ. Okay, sorry for that. So Craven says AJ Brown best wide receiver prospect this year. I agree with that. I lost. There we go. Okay, so Corey says I agree. Marcus, especially after the permanent inset, I can't see the Costa going for the safe pick with AJ. AJ is not only a safe pick, he's really, really good. And then shout out to Dre121. Be more, bro. I don't know why your message got restricted. I'm not sure. That's not me. That's YouTube. So I'm sorry about that. Try to comment again. I apologize. Marcus says to Corey, I don't think Brown slips that far. If he does and we don't pick him, I will post a video of me crying. Marcus, again, if he's still there at 22, you might have Enkeel, you might have who's the other, Hakeem Butler, and you might have a bunch of other receivers. You might still trade back. In my latest mock draft, he made it all the way to the second round. So you have to pace yourself. You cannot overreact. You just, it's like poker without tipping your hand. And by the way, people were tagging me because obviously me and Keo, that the Costa said, oh, there's a video of him rolling like, oh, maybe in the third round I'll get Enkeel. There's a lot of smoke screens going. Enkeel's there in the 22. Enkeel could fall to the early second. You trade back, Enkeel's still there. Somebody who likes Enkeel, but the Ravens are not going to draft him. You still trade back and you still get him. There is a lot of smoke screen. There's things you hear right now you can't believe. You can't believe it. So I agree with Coach 100%. That's the point. AJ is the most ready. Again, doesn't have the highest ceiling. He is the most ready. His floor is very high. He walks into most teams and he's a wide receiver 2. Every team in the league, minimum, he's a wide receiver 3. You cannot say that for all the others. So Marcus says, oh man, Enkeel definitely fits us best for the reasons you mentioned. Dre, there you go. Mad ass F. We don't play Chiefs at home. Was gonna buy tickets. Are you? Why the Chiefs game? Any particular reason? I'm going to the Cardinals one. I want to see Suggs. I want to go to the home opener. So, says you see the Ravens subreddit post about the nickname for the secondary. Also, have any thoughts? I haven't. So can you? I haven't gone. I have been literally. I'm gonna do something. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. You guys see that? I have been working on this thing so far on the weekend. So building that computer. So hopefully my streams get better, especially when I have guests. So we don't have lag. So we don't have problems. So I haven't. So if you can post it, we can definitely discuss that. Oh, I see Dre just asked the same thing. You see, so it says there were some good ones. The most popular one was Harm City. That's not a bad nickname. I like it. I was thinking Flock on the Lock or Edgar Allan No Fly Zone. Well, the No Fly Zone was the Denver Broncos Super Bowl year. That's what they call that team, the secondary. So I don't want to say that we copy that, right? So in my opinion, I like Flock on Lock. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And Harm City, I like actually yours more, Craven. Flock on Lock, I like that way better. No yards. Oh man, well we definitely should have a name if they earn it. And also, this is something I believe it was Coach. Also, me and Coach, and I talked with Nuba when we said we wanted Thomas way back, and then it happened. I thought it wouldn't. It was not gonna happen, but it happened. Errol Thomas. The reason that I like Errol Thomas so much is our secondary, our lockdown secondary, man coverage, press coverage. There it is, Errol Thomas, running free, reacting to the ball. I'm expecting Errol to have a great year with these good corners. I think he's going to have a hell of a year. Baker likes to gamble. There will be Errol. Big Ben definitely likes to gamble. There will be Errol. Now, this is one of the reasons I like a guy like Burns at 22. You put him in Judon, right? Or if Tim Williams and Bowser, which is preferable, if they take a step up, dude, we have a good pass rushing ability. With that secondary, it's going to be bad for every team. And you saw Michael Pierce training. I love how this team defensively is shaping. Our linebackers, we don't have that thumper, which scares me because if the receiver make it to the second level, safety will have to come and make that play. That's going to be 7, 8, or 9 yards in, right? So, if you think about it, that's going to be, if our pass rushers play well, that's going to be the weakest position. But in the passing game, think about Kenny Young and Peanut. It's a good duo against the passing game. Both of them can run. Both of them can react well to the ball. I'm freaking excited. I can't wait for football. And, my Orioles are not doing good. My Wizards were trash this year. So, can't wait for football. Okay, so great. Marcus, do you think Errol Thomas can stay on the field? Yes. I mean, he broke his leg. That's a freaky injury. I'm more concerned when people have ligament injuries. A break is, bad hit on the knee. It can happen to anybody. I think it should be fine. Donovan Sales, what up, bro? Thanks for joining me. You always try to join the live, and if not, I know you always go back and watch the stream. So I appreciate your support. Hey, Sonny, I like Nkio, like Hakeem, but not over offensive linemen. Okay. I think we have been uber successful in the third round drafting linemen. Really, really good. Alex Lewis has an injury history, but he was fairly good. And you can go with KO was a second rounder. Yanda was a third rounder. Seuss was a third rounder. Although I don't love Skura, but he's serviceable. He was undrafted. And then Stanley's a first round. You can get a middle or interior alignment in that second, third round. Now, you can still get a good receiver. Again, my whole point is, Donovan, you do value pick. If the receiver's not there, you don't force that pick. Although I love Nkeel, you don't force that pick. If a really, really elite player gets there at 22, you take him. A pass rusher, sure. Of the three positions, pass rusher is the least of the need. Need number one is receiver. Need number two is lineman. But if a pass rusher, elite pass rusher falls to you, you take it. You take it. Now, if you can get a lot of compensation for trading back, you do that. So, although I love the receivers, you don't force any pick. So yeah, it's the left guard which concerns me, Dre. It ain't that bad, like you said. Again, we were ranked, I think it's 12. Yeah, I have to go back and check, but I think it's 12. Top third in the league, right? Roughly. So, yeah. It was the place we was running. So we weren't creative in place, Dre. I agree with you, and that needs to change. Marcus says, I agree, Dre. I don't see this horrible lone. Everyone, line, horrible line. Everyone talks about, especially in the run game. Yeah, so the run game will be good. Passing game, left guard was pretty bad. But again, you take a guy like Samoa, Ben Powers in that third round, you are gonna be solid. You think about Bozeman might be able to fight for that center position, and Skura might be a guard, or vice versa. Lewis is still there. Hurst is still there. We don't know anything about Senant. He might be able to step in. We have linemen. I think it's a need. I just don't think it's the biggest need. Now, again, if a really good lineman falls to you, you go ahead and draft him. I don't have any problem with that. You draft the best player available at the moment. So, let me see here. Dre says James Hurst is a waste of money, though. Yeah, so James Hurst, I think, is a free agent after this year. I think. So, he is a waste. He played bad, but they can cut him. Or they can keep him there for one more year. Corey says, what Raven do you think gets the next contract extension? Raven that should get a contract extension is Judon. Unless they still don't believe too much in Judon. But if you are not going to extend Judon this year, you have to draft a pass rusher. Even if you think Bowser and Williams are going to pay out, you still haven't seen it, right? And another guy that we critically need to extend is Stanley. Stanley in the open market is going to get so much money. We're talking about 18, 19 mil. So you need to extend him as soon as possible. Then in the next year or so, Humphries when he's in year number 4. So next year you extend Stanley. This year you should extend Judon. And also next year 2 years from now you extend Humph. So Dre says, think about it. Ronnie, Alex, Bozeman / Matt, Yanda, and Orlando B. I agree with you. We have a good old line. Solid old line. We can have a great old line. The other thing is we also need to start playing for Yanda. Yodo says we should trade Lewis before it's too late. Just get a 6th rounder. I mean, those are trades that might happen in the preseason. In the preseason, teams start losing people, and there's like, whoa, the Ravens had like 10 linemen, and I like a couple of them. Ravens, you want to trade one? Yeah. So it wouldn't be for this draft. It's probably going to be for the next one. Marcus says, yeah, I saw a scenario with us taking Farrell, and that will be a steal at that of the center. I like Farrell a lot. I also like Zach Allen a lot in the third round. My thing with Farrell is I just don't know if he can play that outside linebacker. I think he's a 4-3 DN, and in a 3-4, he, in my opinion, he can't play that outside linebacker, so you would have to kick him in. Is he good enough in the 3-4 to battle guards and just be in that inside part? I'm not quite sure, but if he's there and you want to draft him, I'm okay with that. I like Farrell a lot. So, Dre says, keep Lewis, don't trade for no 6th round. The problem with Lewis, Dre, he barely plays. So you can't count on him. So Dre says the Farrell was horrible when you watch. He definitely is a 4-3. Yeah, so he doesn't fit our scheme. That's my issue with Farrell. He doesn't fit our scheme. Can he be a 3-4? It was so again. If you have followed me before, when I was talking about free agency, I said, "Oh, it would be awesome if we can get Lawrence, right, from the Cowboys." And then I said, "But the problem with him is he's definitely a 4-3 rusher at the end. Not really outside linebacker. I don't think he can be a 3-4 end, but the scouting will have to see that, right?" So with Farrell, I feel like it's the similar. Not that he's a bad player, it's the scheme. Can he fit that 3-4 D end scheme, or can he potentially be an outside linebacker? That's why I said Zach Allen, in my opinion, can definitely fit that 3-4 D end, and he will be a third rounder. So in that motor there, love me some Zach Allen. Okay, Tyler Ellis, thanks for joining the live stream, bro. We done trade for Odell. We didn't trade for Odell, or we do not trade for Odell. I'm not sure if you're talking about the year that they got drafted. That year I did want Odell. He went to the Giants, and then I wanted Zach Martin, and Zach went the pick before us. I was not expecting CJ Mosley. Actually, I was a little shocked that we drafted CJ Mosley that year. But you know what? It worked out, although we don't have it now, but it worked out. Coach, if you're talking about Farrell, it's just, in my opinion, in the outside side, he doesn't have that, how do I say? I don't think he plays well in space. He's definitely a hand to the ground guy. Again, can he be that 3-4? If he can be a 3-4, then yes. I just haven't seen him. I don't know if he can kick a little bit more inside and play 3-4. Now I also say, if he's there at 22 and they like him, I have no problem. I think he's a great player. I definitely think he's a great player. So Dre says Lewis was injured all year, though. The year before he was good, and yes, but the year before that he was also injured for most of the year. So out of the 3 years, 1 year healthy, 3 year that he was basically injured all year. Tyler says bring Joe back. That's not happening, Tyler. Not at all. Okay, so Marcus says, well, he's totally horrible all the time, Sonny. Yeah, he does have some hybrid front issues, but he can do rotation, he can run multiple front. He could fit it. Again, I'm not saying that he's atrocious. Again, I think he's a spectacular player. And if he's there at 22, I'm okay with them drafting him. I'm just saying that him at 22 will be a great pickup, great value for 22. I still think at 22, if he's there and a lot of the receivers are there, you can, and O-linemen, you can trade back and still get more value and gather more picks. I don't think he's a Derwin James type of pick. And we passed on Derwin James, but I don't think Derwin... And at this point, I don't have any problem with them passing on Derwin James. That's what produced Zeus Jr. to be picked. That's what produced the ability to trade up and get Lamar Jackson and so other things, right? So, yeah, he did both in Clemson. Again, I just don't... Coach, I don't see him as an outside linebacker in the next level. I could be wrong, but that's just me. Like, I think Bowser is a really good outside linebacker in space. If Bowser was able to rush the passer on a consistent basis, Bowser is a really, really good on the coverage side. So that would be great. That would be great. So, yeah. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so Tyler, again, your message got restricted. I'm not sure why, but you can post it again. It's not me. I don't restrict any message. It's YouTube. So Marcus said to Coach, yeah, I saw everything I needed out of Farrell. Again, Farrell at 22 is fine. No issues with Farrell. Farrell's a really, really good player. I think when Thursday comes, I don't see any scenario why I would want to have a pick at 22. None. I have no scenario that I can say, if this guy's at 22, we picked him. Realistic scenario. I haven't. I think of all scenarios that I've worked out in my mind, I think in all of them we should trade back. If Farrell's there, if Cody Ford is there, if DK's there, or N'Keal Harry, and you guys know how I feel about N'Keal Harry. Let me see. Brian Burns is one of the guys that is hard for me to trade away for, or to trade back for. But even with him there, I still might consider trading back. So, what up, David? Thanks for joining the live. Just join. What was your reaction to the Ravens video? Oh, so I talk about that, David. And again, thanks for joining the drive. The live, sorry. I said there's so many smoke screen at this point. Costa might think, hey, he's not a first round, but I will take him in early second. So if people think the Ravens are not in it, now we trade back to late first, we trade back to early second. Let's say they even want to trade back more. N'Keal's still there. I think about, well, they're probably not gonna get N'Keal. They might get whoever, Debo. Just pick a name that is still there, and do this. The C's your the other team, and you go get N'Keal. I think there's just so many smoke screens at this point. I don't believe anything that comes out, anything. So that's just me. Still loves N'Keal. To be honest, like I said to somebody the other day, they asked me like, oh, of all this, if we draft, I forgot who he said, will you be mad? I said, like, I literally, even though I love N'Keal, whoever's gonna be, and I don't have the crystal ball to see this, whoever's gonna be the best receiver drafted, AJ Brown will be the best solid pick in my opinion, most safe pick, but N'Keal will be spectacular in purple. So let me see here. Rejodo says Tyler is just a troll. Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry for that. Dre says the thing about Clint is he can't really get off the block, and his motor is horrible. He gives up a lot. Again, I'm not trying to diminish Clinton Farrell. One of my favorite guys is Zach Allen. His motor is amazing. When he played, was it Clemson? He played like 100 snaps, or like 60 or 70 snaps. It was something insane. I think he took 3 snaps out, and he was still going. A guy like that is what you need. And that 3-4 the end. Let's be honest, and I know B. Williams gets a lot of flack for not getting sacked. None of those 3 boys are supposed to get sacked. They're supposed to command double teams, supposed to hit that A, B gap, attract, to help those outside rushers, just clog that middle. So runners have to go to the outside. So pass rushers just see this massive bunch of human debris there, right? A bunch of just 1,000 pounds of people, are just human bodies between 3 D linemen and 4 O linemen, clogging that middle. Now that helps your outside. Zach Allen was spectacular. I love me some Zach Allen. Again, if we draft Farrell, I'll be excited. I think he's a blue chip guy. So Let me see here. The thing, absolute. Okay, so Craven says, "Had a dream. We drafted Farrell, so I'm hoping I can see the future somehow. Hey, if he's gonna be a beast, I'm good with that. I don't think Lamar is an incredible bad passer or even behind the typical. I agree that he's not behind the curve necessarily, Marcus. He is not the greatest accurate passer. Something that drives me crazy at Lamar. The guy is open and he throws to the feet of the guy. I don't understand this, or throws behind. I kept saying, and I said this with Coach, and again, go check out Coach channel. If Lamar can progress 25% of what he was last year, he will be lethal. If he can hit that open receiver, the league is in trouble, because the problem is there was a lot of open receiver, and they're just clogging that box. If he can hit it, and then you have a guy like Nkeel. I know Nkeel. The guy that can catch the ball and have yak yardage. He can stiff arms a guy. He can have moves, right? Or you draft a guy like Andy Isabella that open space is hard to catch, or McLaurin. Yeah, I mean, Lamar has a lot of potential. I love Lamar. I love what I've seen and what his potential can be. I'll check that film if I had time, because I've been getting emails from other people. But if you know what, hit me up either on Twitter, IG, whatever you email, whatever, so I can remember to check that film. I'll try. Tyler says, "Do you think we will pick up a linebacker in the draft?" For sure. Can we pick a middle linebacker in the first round? Maybe. Like if Bush is there at 22, that's a solid pick. It's a solid pick, especially with Peanut being a free agent next year. Peanut balls out, he's gonna get paid. Can the Ravens pay him? Sure, but if you have Bush, you don't have to pay him. Okay, so oh man, I lost it again. Okay, so Marcus, especially when you consider he spent training camp and half of the season working as a gadget player. I agree, and he came into the season throwing to third stringers. You know what I like a lot for him? He's not a 9 to 5. This is my biggest critique for Flacco. He was a 9 to 5 guy. I need a guy that wants to live, breathe, and die football, and I think that is Lamar. I like Peanut, Tyler. I like him a lot. But again, he's going to be a free agent next year, so you need a backup plan. We don't have a third linebacker, so we definitely will get one. So there's a couple linebackers. So Donovan says, "How deep is the linebacker class?" So you have the top two. Then and then second round, you will see a guy like the linebacker from Alabama. I can't remember his name. Then in the third round, you get, and I'm gonna butcher the name, Okiki, I think it is, from Stanford. You got a guy, Cashman from Minnesota. He's another good guy that I think could fit the Ravens. And middle linebacker from Notre Dame, I think it is. Those guys are very solid. There's 6 linebackers, not uber deep, but there's guys that I think can start. Cashman can start. Okiki needs to clean some stuff. The linebacker from Notre Dame, he needs to clean some stuff. The linebacker from Alabama, he's a thumper. He's not necessarily a space guy, but we have 2 space guys, so I think it will be good in our locker room for what we need a linebacker currently to do. Yeah, so again, Dre is absolutely right. I think 6. I see 6 guys with potential to be starter. 4 of them I think could be a day one starters. 2 of them need to clean some stuff before they can start. Damn. Next time I need to bring water. I need to bring water, beer, or something for the live stream for the draft. Okay, Corey says, Donovan, it falls off after White and Bush. What? Oh, I got you. Yes, Corey, I agree. So after those definitely are your top 2. The next tier, I would say the Bama guy is the second tier, and the other 2 are like a third tier, and after that, it's just a bunch of guys. Okay, so Marcus also says, yeah, I agree with Dre. Not too many big time inside linebackers in this draft. I agree with both of you. Let me see here. I lost it. Damn it. Okay, here. Facts. Sonny. Thanks, Marcus. That is the biggest difference between Joe and Lamar. Lamar actually has fun with the game outside of work. He wants to get better. You have to respect that. He wants to get better. They say mechanics was bad, and I agree. He wants to get better. In my channel, at least, and I can't speak for everybody else, I try to be fair. I will give you the good of Lamar, the bad and the ugly. I have a segment what I love and hated from every game, and once Lamar started, I started putting love, hated, and Lamar. Because Lamar has some good things and some bad things, and you need to be honest. If you're honest with each other, you can critique and love the guy. I root for Lamar. I love Lamar. I hope he is the best quarterback. But he has some deficiency that he is working. That's what I love. He is actually working on those things. That's all you want from your quarterback. Work hard. Work hard on your nobody's perfect. You have things that you're not good at. Work hard to get better at. Okay. So Dre says, true, that's why I was excited to watch, but I was disappointed after watching. He got bullied a lot. I remember Notre Dame 75 was beating him up. I think you're talking about Farrell still, right, Dre? Everyone's game can't be 100 every single game. Some matchups you lose, but I didn't see the game. That was from Marcus. Craven said he was good against Bama. That's a playoff game, though. I think he got because the people around kind of like Bama's system. He was kind of getting beat by Jonah. He dominated Jonah. So that was Craven, Dre, and Rijoto. And Rijoto, am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Rijoto? Is it Rejoto? I'm not sure. Let me know if it is Rijoto or Rejoto. It's A for Rijoto, B for Rejoto. Anyway, I think Jonah and Farrell was a really good matchup. I think Farrell had a couple good plays against Jonah. I think Jonah got the best of him a couple plays. But we're talking about 2 first-rounders, right? Oh, okay. So I apologize. I will try to pronounce your name correctly now. So 2 first-rounders. I will say if one of them would have completely dominated the other one, that person's stocks would have risen and the other one would have dropped. But seeing going back and forth, that's why both of them are really, really good. Okay. So Craven says he held down his gap all game. Jonah bullied everyone all year except for Farrell. Jonah's a hell of a lineman. Jonah is my favorite lineman. I think he is a beast. If he's at 22, oof, I will have to consider Jonah. Because Jonah can be a guard, but if you get injuries, he can definitely be kicked out as a tackle, and I'll be completely comfortable with him. Okay, so Rijoto, not I don't think. You don't think we watch? Oh, so Dre, are you saying that Farrell? I guess I forgot. That Farrell dominated that game completely to Jonah, or the other way around? So again, I thought both of them had good plays, right? But the game is a little removed from me, so I'll have to just literally go back. Okay, so Rejoto, I'll go and try to watch Coach Evans' that film so I can see it. Sonny, do you think Chris Moore will have a bigger role in this offense starting off the season? If he doesn't have a bigger role, you might as well cut him. The opportunity's there. We don't have depth. Even if you bring 2 rookies, even if your first 2 picks are receivers, Chris Moore at this point is a veteran. If he cannot beat the 2 rookies, you might as well cut him. No reason to have him. I barely saw enough Chris Moore last year, and we didn't have this wide receiving core. You're like, oh my god, well, we were so good. He was just buried. No. He could have made plays. He could have played better, but he didn't. I like Chris Moore. This is not me trying to bash Chris Moore. I wish he was good. Well, I think he's good. He gets lost in the game. You forget that he's even playing. They like to use him in reverses. He makes contested catches, but then I don't know. I think this is the year for him to be impactful. It's going to a contract year. If he cannot be impactful this year, then he's might as well cut him. So Dre says Clean got his wins and took a little bit of L. So that's what I remember from this game. He has some good plays. He got dominated sometimes. Again, about Jonah Williams, which is, we're not talking here about a scrub, right? We're talking about a guy that really can play, Jonah Williams. So Cody Ford, Clem Fair, AJ Brown, 3 guys we can't pass on if they're available at 22, in my opinion. So Marcus, I disagree. Again, I said that I don't think there's any scenario in my mind that you cannot pass on a guy that is a 22nd pick if you get the right compensation. I love AJ Brown. I love Ford and I like Farrell, but I think you can get a guy like Lindstrom and be as good as Ford as a guard. McCoy he can be as good as a guard. So okay, so David Tran said AJ Brown is my wide receiver. What? I'ma feel hurt if we pass on him and he gets yes. Over that 6'9" 3-cone. So yes, I agree with you. It will hurt if he goes to the Patriots. If we get AJ Brown, I love AJ Brown, guys. I know I've been on my NKO train, or not train, jet, but I also said that AJ Brown for me is just a tack under in my rankings. AJ Brown is spectacular. My ideal scenario, we trade back and we can get a guy like either NKO or AJ. It will be awesome. I said if we get one of those receivers, I'm buying their jersey. So so you haven't seen Cody Ford. I think so Dre, Coach has the Cody Ford video breakdown. Cody Ford is a very solid O-lineman. I just think he you can watch the Bama when he played Bama, Dre. I just think Cody Ford is a very solid lineman, but you got a guy like Lindstrom. First of all, I don't think Cody will make it to 22, but if he does, and Lindstrom is there, McCoy is there, you can get one of those two in the later pick. So Marcus says, any Oklahoma game works, Dre. He made Kyler look good. Well, let's be honest. Oklahoma had, if not the best, one of the top lines on the league. From Cody Ford to Samaya to Powers. They had good players. They have a really, really good line. So you can watch against Bama if you want. That's good indication. So now, Cody Ford did play tackle last year. The year before he played guard, but last year he played tackle. So that's for you to say. Yeah, so I agree with Rehoto. All Sooners, the lineman was good. That's why I said, set up Cody for when people tell me, well, we need to get a lineman in the first round. I said, well, you can probably draft Samaya or Powers in the third round. Two guards in the third round. They actually played guard last year. So you draft that and then you get your receiver or your pass rusher in the first round. So Marcus says, what is your take on Kyler? I love Kyler. Last year, I was making videos, but my favorite was, what is it? The guy from Cleveland. Damn it. What is this guy's name? I have division number 6. Mayfield. I love Mayfield. And I was sad that he got picked by the Browns. I want him to get picked by the Jets or somebody else. So, I think Kyler can be as good on the right system. He will help that line. Now, if I was Arizona, I wouldn't do it. You have a quarterback that I like too. I'm Rosen, but Rosen needs a better O line, which he doesn't have. Kyler can masquerade the problems in the O line with the movement, but you know, I think Kyler's pretty good. I like him a lot. Okay, Donovan says, how do the Ravens look at the running back position? How do the Ravens look at? So are you asking with the current ones? I like them a lot. They're all downhill runners. People say that Ingram can catch. I think he can catch screen pass. He's not a guy that's overly productive in the flat or doing in my opinion, a cut-in, like a post route or something like that. I would like Bryce Love in the 5th round or 6th round. That's a guy that can be a playmaker in a passing game. He tends to get injured, but you're not asking him to be a workhorse. So running back situation looks good. We have 3 solid guys, but you can always bring one more. Kyler is a polished Lamar. I agree with that, Rehoto. The only problem with Kyler is he's small, not only on height, on frame. So with a bad O-line. So let's say Arizona gets him. You know who plays in that division, right? Donald. Donald will swallow that bad boy. So yeah, I don't know. I think Kyler will be good though. So okay, Marcus says we are over strength at RB and CB. So running back and cornerback. We don't need any pickups there. So again, a 5th or 6th at the 5th or 6th rounds, you're looking for guys that you're like, okay, this guy could potentially be good. Let me bring him. It's more of a developmental guy. Okay, so Dre says, I think we need to take a running back in the 3rd. Dre, I would love to hear your argument for a running back in the 3rd, as we are probably 10 minutes away to finish this stream. Let me know why do you think. Oh, by the way, guys, if you haven't, please like the video. That helps me a lot. Just take a second and click a like to the video. So Marcus says, I disagree. I think Kyler needs a good line, not the other way around. So Marcus, let me finish here. Kyler didn't throw for as many yards in college as Lamar, yet he's better. Okay, so a couple of things. Let's break it down here. So everybody needs a good line, but he's mobile enough that he will help his line. Same thing with Lamar. Our O-line got better when Lamar was playing, because whatever deficiency the O-line has, Lamar helps them on skewing that, right? Lamar helps them with moving around, evading that rusher. He was stiff-arming the guy. Now, on the second point, Kyler is a better passer. I know Lamar had more yards, but look how that ball comes out. Look at the mechanics. Kyler is a more polished passer. I think Lamar is more dynamic on the open field. And if you have Kyler Murray, well, you don't want Lamar to get hit, but if you had Kyler Murray, you really don't want him to get hit, because again, he's 180 maybe, 5'8" and a quarter. So even though I love Kyler, my problem with Kyler is he's smaller, he can get hurt, and not only that, big O-linemen. I know Russell did it, I know Drew Brees did it. Still hard. So let me see. Dre here says, sorry, I need water, but the water will be upstairs. So because Gus just a hammer, not really a complete back. Yeah, but the problem, Dre, is we're going in the more committee. He's a hammer. You have Ingram. In that 3rd round, you can invest in a rusher and another receiver on interior O-line, depending. I mean, we are really, really good at running back. We have Dixon is more of a shifty guy. We have Gus, which is more of a power guy, downhill guy. And Ingram can be a little bit of both. And again, he has really good hands for screen passes. Now, again, you need a guy that is better in the open field. Again, a guy like Bryce Love will be perfect in my opinion. Rohit Patel. Sorry if I botched your name. I apologize, but welcome to the live draft. Again, guys, if you can hit that like button, I'll appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you're new here, please subscribe. So it says, I just saw something on NFL Network showing that they think that Butler will go in the third round. What do you think? I told noobs this, that Butler, in my opinion, is not a first rounder. He is second rounder, middle second to third. There's some concerns with him, his drop rate and all that. And Joe Nubo, I know he likes to say, well, he still can catch it. He can, but that concerns teams, right? So that's why I said before, imagine if you can get in Keel, and in the third round, you can jump to either late second, early third, and get Butler. That could be a possibility. Again, thanks for joining, Paddle. Hopefully that answered your question. So Marcus said, not faster than Lamar in a straight line. I agree with that. Or in and out of his cut. I agree with that. Lamar just has to get the ball on target more and significantly smaller. I would not call him a polish. So Kyler Murray equals easiest bust to see coming since Brady quit. Okay, so, and you might be right. When I say, or somebody said it, and I agree, that he's a more polished Lamar, basically I said it in the past game. Everything on the runner side, I agree with you. Lamar's better as a runner. He's a better athlete. On the passing side, in my opinion, the passes that Lamar was missing, I wouldn't think Kyler would have missed. Lamar, for some reason, likes to throw to the feet when people are wide open. So that's my thing. Now, Kyler has only done it for a year, so we need to see, right? He can be a bust. All these guys can be a bust. So, Dre says, and Ken Dixon can't stay from trouble. I agree. Again, you bring a guy like Bryce Love, is one of the guys that I like. We'll see. The running backs are all over the place. My opinion, you should not draft a running back before the 5th this year. But if they drafted in the 4th, whatever. I just think between the first 4th rounds, there's going to be a lot of value there that is not, including running backs, but in the running back side, you're pretty stacked. So, let me see here. Marcus says, and he's only played 1 year. Yeah, I just said that. Nah, fam. I don't buy Kyler. Again, Marcus, I don't think the Cardinals should do it. You have a guy that, in my opinion, is pretty good on Rosen. On a trashy team, build it. If somebody wants that first pick trade, get more picks. You need a better O-line. You need pass catchers. So, if you put that into Rosen, I think Rosen would be fine. Berhodo says, Case Keenum has the record for most yards in college. Well, yeah. College numbers can be skewed depending on your opponents, your division, and all that. Marcus, okay, he's more on target. Lamar has a bigger arm. He can push it down the field. Marcus, I'm not trying to diminish Lamar. And if I did, that wasn't my intention. I love Lamar. I love me some Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar, and my hope is he can do this, be 25% better in the passing game. He'll be dangerous. He'll be a problem for this league. If he can hit that open receiver, I'm not even talking about contested guys. Let's say contested guys or cover guys, he can hit it in a 50-50. Open receivers, he can hit the open receivers on a consistent basis. Lamar's going to be pretty unstoppable because what are you going to do? You're going to push back to cover? Well, Lamar can give you a 15-yard rush, right? Oh, you're going to load the box? Oh, I can hit that open receiver over there, right? Oh, in Keel, if we have a guy like him, one-on-one, let me throw it high. He can get it, but he needs to get to, he needs to get to that point. Okay, so plus Lamar had a wide receiver core filled with Butterfield. They did. I agree with that. Okay, so who do go? What's up, man? Thanks for joining the drive. The last small QB that played baseball and decided to play football just became the highest paid player. I agree with that. that will be Russell Wilson. And that's the hope that Kyler can be Russell Wilson. But can he? The thing with Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson, although he's small, he's thick. He can take a hit. I'm not sure if Kyler can do that. And with Arizona's battle line, if he does, he might be swallowed. So Marcus says that's why I am all the way with you on Enkeel. Yeah. So Enkeel or look another. So in my last mock draft, I predicted Butler and Ridley. But after that, in my live video, one thing I said, like looking it back from a view, I would have loved if I would have drafted AJ and JJ Arcega-Whiteside. JJ Arcega-Whiteside can be that guy. Jump ball throw on a one-on-one, and he will make that play. He has great hands. In the third round, I love me some JJ Arcega-Whiteside. So, those players like that is what Lamar needs. JJ Arcega-Whiteside, AJ Brown, although I love N'Keal Harry, will be the best two receivers that you can bring for this team. Both of them have excellent hands. It's one of the things that I love about them. So Dre says Russell got a ring off a defense. Yeah, but you know what? Russell Wilson has basically no O-line for forever, and he still makes that team competitive. Oh, wait, I jumped somebody. Rehoto says, I don't trust this coaching staff to maximize Lamar. We'll see. Hopefully you're wrong and I'm wrong, because I am kind of in your boat. I wasn't big on the Roman pick because Roman is a running coach. And I wanted a guy that it was a pure passing coach so he can be developing that side. So, okay, so Marcus says, okay, Russell Wilson is one of a kind. That's the difference. I don't disagree with you, Marcus. Dre, exactly. I mean, Russell Wilson can also see over the line. He and Wilson are like a quarter of an inch apart. So, Russell weighted 204 in the combine. Yes. The difference, Hurudungo, is Russell Wilson didn't have to put weight. Kyler was playing probably a 180 and probably was sitting in McDonald's every day to put to the 200 pounds. I think he's probably going to play in the 180. So they weighted basically the same, but look at pictures of them in college. Wilson is thick. Look at his thighs. Look at his back, his shoulders. Kyler is in a thinner side. So Dre says, the coaching staff will hold us back a lot because they want gimmicks and runs. We need to help Lamar passing wise. So we'll see. I love Harbaugh because I think a head coach should be what Harbaugh is, a manager. Now, my problem with Harbaugh is he doesn't know how to pick an OC. And he's too loyal to his coaches. That's my problem with Harbaugh. If we had a good OC, Harbaugh would be spectacular because he doesn't meddle. He goes to every meeting and whatever, but he doesn't. And he managed the team, managed the Eagles. But OC, your job is to call the plays, put the plan together, your DC, that, and your special team, and he lets them do that. Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple more minutes, guys. It's been an hour and a half. I love it. I'm here Monday again with live mock draft. And that day I'm not gonna be able to take as many questions, but then on Thursday we're back live during the draft and Friday. So I'm super excited. Okay, so Dre says the coach. Oh, I just read that Kyler not going to AZ. Let's be honest. I don't know. I think Arizona should not draft Kyler, but I think it will be a mistake. But I think if they don't draft Kyler, I think they're doing a disservice to Rosen because the coaching staff should have been already like, you're our guy. Don't listen to this. And then Rosen spoke like 2 days ago, said like, this is annoying. All this, like, I don't even know where I'm gonna be in. So I think that's bad for a essentially second year guy, right? So Marcus says I definitely trust the coach. you trust the coaching staff to maximize Lamar. We have a top 5 coaching staff in the league. I like Greg Roman. My problem with Roman is he very, very focused on the running part. So that could be good, that could be bad. If he's going to use it to help his passing abilities for Lamar, I'm okay with that. If he's just going to be concentrating on passing, forgetting about the run, and forgetting about pass, that's not good. Essentially, if he's Marty Webb on the running side, that's not good. Now, he's a solid guy. It's not that I dislike the guy, but I wanted more of a passing guy. I love the pick or who we brought for the wide receiving coach. I think that guy that came from the Bills and before that from the KC, I'm blanking his name, is awesome. If you saw the NFL Network had a video of AJ Brown, like a path to the draft, we had our coach and the wide receiver coach talking to AJ, and I was like, oh my god, if we bring AJ, I'm gonna lose it. That's gonna be so awesome. Because again, I love Nkeel, but I can see potential in other guys too. So let me see. Dre says Roman is only good with wrong well, yeah, that's his specialty. Again, hopefully the QB coach can help on the passing game. Okay, guys, so we've been here an hour and a half. Again, put those likes on the video if you can. Also, like I said, let me see here. Let me see. Please check the new design, the SEG Sport design. I have a bunch of other designs in the store. I even have, if you are a Lamar fan, let me show you my Lamar Jackson. Why do I not have it here open? Well, if you go to the store, which the link is below, you can see it. It's the merch, and let me show you here my, well, yeah, so you can see it's all the designs that I have. That's Kings of the North. You've seen it there before with that. There's the Believe That, but I have it without that too somewhere. Here it is. Let me open one of those. So you can see this is the best way you can support. You can donate, but I'm not asking for donation. This, as you can see, that's LJ. You can see the helmets of the AFC North bleeding in their color. You can see AJ. And hopefully once we have the new teammates, I'm gonna be making more designs. And the other thing you can do to help me is share my channel. Share my channel with other guys. Once we get to 1,000, we're gonna do a big giveaway. But even before that, as we increment, I'll keep doing giveaways. Like I said, the money that I'm getting for the store, I'm just using it for giveaways. Last comment here says, yeah, that is fair. Well, thanks, Sonny. I appreciate all of you to staying here for an hour and a half. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you, guys. I will see you guys Monday, hopefully. I'm planning to be at 8:30. And then on Thursday on Joe Nubo's channel for the NF podcast. And then Friday, I'm going to be here for 2 rounds. We'll discuss first round and any questions you guys have. We'll be here, guys. So, thanks for joining me. I will see you next time. Peace out.